Velina mai kako. Welcome to Keep It Aloha, a podcast that keeps it aloha by Hanu. Hanihos kamaka and breathe in the mana.
Eola.
We are here with good friend of the podcast, Elijah Kalā McShane.
Ano ai me kia aloha. It's good to be back for Vala'au round 2.
Yes, and we are in a very special location. We're at the mountain range of...
I ka ahupua o haki pu'u, I ka wahi pana o ke kupuna Maui, and we stay on the base of this beautiful peak of Kualoa, which its inoa is e Kanehoalani, and who is actually the tutu kane or the makua kane a kakuieva.
Yeah, on Oahu.
Yeah, mahalo ke akua o Kanehoalani.
Sorry, I just pointed at you, be like, you should, instead of me. You do it way cooler than I would.
I know, all good.
He wasn't ready for that, but he killed it. Hey, mahalo for coming out over here. I am so stoked to get to talk story again with you. Before it was a Hawaiiverse podcast, now we're on Keep It Aloha podcast.
Yes, it's been about a year and a half, huh?
Yeah, a little over a year and a half, so it's cool that we get to do this again.
And ho'omai ka'i on all the success.
Hey,
bro.
mahalo, you too.
Ay, mahalo.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a great time over here. And then just being, in this lo'i, it's the mana, right?
Yeah, the mana is here.
You feel it. It's almost
Aye.
tangible,
Aye.
right?
Aye,
The thing that you also feel is the sun. That's why you got to put on sunglasses or
Eola.
I'd be like this the whole time. But yeah, let's just get right into it. If you want to go check out his episode, learn more about his life story, check out episode 66 of the Hawaiiverse Podcast. You can just scroll down and then you can learn about his life story.
Oh, good.
You hear that ATV going in the back? We're out in the open, so we got
and
all
the mahi'ai over here, so they all
working.
hana.
Yep, I love it. While we just talk.
Aye.
The Hawaiians work, the Portuguese talks. All right, so yeah, we're coming to the end of the year,
Yep.
We're closing 2024. It's been a great year for me. You've had a lot of growth too. You're doing a lot of things with the Pono Settler.
Yes.
Instagram and social media has been booming. You're putting out amazing content. We just had the presidential election
Yes,
that ended
crazy
about a
times.
month ago. So there's, we see a lot of things. We're in it. We're in the thick of it, because of our
Absolutely.
positions in social media, right?
Aye.
We see the good, we see the bad, we see the ugly, we see the beautiful.
100%.
And I think
No.
both of us, we kind of have a similar mindset of just being open-minded, right? Having the conversations, hard conversations, asking hard questions, talking about hard conversations without judgment, and we've been on the good side and bad side of both of that, right?
100%, bro.
So that's why I think it's a good episode to have you here so we can reflect on all of that. So I just kind of want to get your, maybe give us a quick life update, it's been a year and a half, and then let's get into the state of, Hawaii, politics,
Aye.
culture, all of that. And then
Aye.
we'll get into some social media questions.
Oh, hikino. Ano ai me kia aloha o wau Elijah Kalā McShane. It's good to be here with everybody. It's been a blessing to be in Hawaii still, to have the honor to really still live in Hawaii and to prosper in Hawaii. Just a little bit of a life update. Things have been amazing with aspects of our work and family. A couple years ago, as people on social media had probably seen, I had the honor of becoming a makua kane around 2 years ago. And our little boy Eli, he's just doing amazing, our son. We're super stoked. He's at this age, he's about 2 and a few months. And he has all the light in the world. And so I just give all thanks to our kupuna and to Kiakua for just all the blessings of having an amazing ohana. Things in our relationship has been amazing too with his mama, baby Jazz. All things have been great, and so things in my personal life has been awesome. And it's been a pretty cool year, especially with really things on the acting side. Just these past maybe 18 months, had the opportunity to be a co-lead in 2 films, Huli and Kukini, which
Amazing, by the way. Go check it out.
Yeah,
if you have the opportunity. Shout out to Paula and the team.
Yes,
Amazing
yes,
film.
bro, and just all the people who played a role in Huli and Kukini had really big accomplishments and success in HIF, the Hawaii International Film Festival, but it's been entered into all kind of different film festivals, and it's been doing amazing, especially Kukini, because of the fact that it's the first time that people are seeing expression and embodiment of our chiefs on film.
And all in Olelo Hawaii.
And all Ikaolelo Hawaii, which is basically a prequel to Chiefs of War, which has a lot of a lot of anticipation around Chiefs of War. It's been filming for about 2 years now, and I believe it's gonna there's 8 episodes, I believe, and it's gonna be introducing itself in about 6 or 7 months. I'm thinking, but like you know how production goes.
Yeah. We'll
So
just keep
it
an
could
eye
be a
out for
year,
it. I would be so excited just to watch the trailer when that comes out.
Oh my
I know
goodness.
that's gonna cause a lot of hype already.
Oh my, bro! I tell you, bro, it's gonna be through just being on production, being on set, seeing, bro. I was speaking to my good brothers on set one day. I go, Hawaiian, I think Chiefs of War production get one higher amount of ahu'ula and mahi'ole than Bishop Museum, because they remade all of the ahu'ula. Like, this is the first time, bro. I stay on set. This is the first time that anybody, and us as Kanaka, is going to see a whole chief's court of our ali'i in full regalia, in actual, because it has big paintings from Herb Kane, Uncle Brooke Parker, about a kupuna, but we never seen this on Kanaka.
Yeah.
So this is the first time it's going to be seen on screen, Ikaolelo Hawaii, and I think it's going to be huge for all of Polynesian productions around the world.
Totally. Well, we're super stoked about that. And it's cool to see from, about a year and a half ago, what you have accomplished and the stuff that you're in. Like, seeing you on screen, I went to the premiere of Kukini, and you are so perfect for that role.
Oh, bro. Mahalo,
but one thing, and I never mentioned it to you, but I've been thinking about it. Like, your Olelo Hawaii has improved too, and you've been like making such huge progress with that.
Oh, bro, I've been learning.
Because you were like, throwing out words here and there, but like now this guy texts me in Hawaiian. He's like having little short conversations in Hawaiian, so I'm just super proud of you for taking that step.
Hey, bro, hey, bro, I've come to see, which we actually spoke about in our first podcast, that it's interesting for a person like me to kind of explore things in linguistics, because I always had a difficult time just talking English because I had a speech impediment. And a huge majority of my ups and downs and my experiences, with being a Keke and Opio, had been around just the hardships of just talking, just to like vala'au, and to understand how to communicate all of my ike mana'o so that it's clear, it's fluid, because I, always had a little bit of like a sensitivity if people judge me on speaking. And so to be, to actually speak Ikaolelo Hawaii, it's been a roller coaster, but, I've always been an artist, to kind of express myself in that particular way. And so through Oli, through Pule, is how I've kind of been on the path to actually ho'opilina Olelo Hawaii and to like see on how to ho'oma'a in any way. And then just talking to all of my brothers who can vala'au ma Olelo Hawaii, and just, to put all the embarrassment and stuff, just go, just go, Kanaka, just go. Yeah. So, hey, bro, it's been good, bro. Mahalo.
Yeah, no, keep it up. One day we'll just be able to rap in Hawaiian
just
the whole time.
Yeah, bro, super stoked.
That's awesome.
Hawaii.
Yeah, you got to meet my dad. He talks Hawaiian to anybody here.
Yeah.
Frank knows him. From Hilo.
Yeah.
So I love seeing it. I want to get into everything on social media as well. So, this year I just feel like there's been so many things that has happened with, like, I don't know what to call it, like social media drama, because I don't want to call our generation soft.
It's kind of how things, I've come to see since starting social media back when, things have changed because it's become a platform of a whole lot of information and perspectives, and because it gives people an opportunity to speak their mind.
Behind the protection of their
of course, but to have free speech, it comes with that, right? And so it's all good, but it's also very interesting in the Hawaii-scape of social media. There's a lot of undertone of aggression, a lot of undertone of humiliation, a lot of conflict that I feel I haven't seen a lot of creators be in a position to ho'opono, to actually speak as a voice of healing and resolve, instead of always in conflict. And that's just what it is, because, hey, we're kind of living in a society today where a whole lot of our people are being pushed way left, or way right of the spectrum. And so has like a lot of polarity. And then you put in election season, you put in that stuff. Oh my goodness, everybody going to war with each other, Hawaii.
Yeah, I don't love seeing it, because you know how oh, we got some water deliveries. Yeah, right there you go. There you go. I'm good. I got mine. My flask over here. I don't know if you guys can see.
Water.
Hi, Yeti. Keep it Aloha sticker. Check it out. KeepItAloha.com. Let me put it over here. Right there. Yeah, so I don't like seeing that, because especially Hawaiians, we always hear the crabs in the bucket mentality. Like, to me, there's no place. You could disagree, you could not like somebody, but man, support each other. Like Hawaiian, or at least if you're not gonna support them like overtly, like don't tear them down. Don't try to, do any, I don't want to call it hate speech, but like make videos about them tearing people down, trying to get people to like cancel somebody or whatever, just because they have a different opinion of you, than you. So
had this one uncle who was explaining to me his perspective, with things in our lahui and putting people down and things. We have an example, that everybody hears in Hawaii, the crabs in the bucket syndrome. But he told me, boy, but has anybody asked the question if the crab's even supposed to be in the bucket? Yeah, the crabs are not inside its own environment. And so if you put kanaka into a state and environment that is not inherently ours, just because of past events, historical traumas, it's a byproduct of the trauma being trapped in the bucket.
So maybe we're just all in the wrong bucket.
Yeah, either we all in the wrong bucket, or we have had an upbringing in a paradigm of a bucket. So our perspectives around things in life, partnerships, kanaka, has not been cleaned up because of our trauma. And so because it takes healing, right? Hey, we're saying beautiful aina, just like for all of our kanaka, an amazing tool of healing is being out in aina. But there's different approaches and pathways for all indigenous peoples to experience healing. But if you're not healed, this is the easiest way to say it. Hurt people, healed people bring healing. Yeah, and so I can accept and understand on how people are and feel and how they communicate in that particular way because of pent-up emotional trauma. But it's not always, in truth, it's not acceptable all the time because of the fact that it just repeats hurt and it projects hurt upon everybody else.
It's a cycle.
It's a cycle.
Yeah, that's why I feel like
harmful.
We have people focusing so much on what other people are doing.
Stay in your lane,
You need to stay in your lane, focus on yourself, heal yourself first before you, try to do other things for others.
Hey, the H1 is on Brick Freeway. Stay in your lane. Hey, but we all going to Hawaii.
Yeah. And if you're going to change it, at least turn on the blinker.
Yeah, turn on your blink, Hawaii, instead of banging everybody in the zipper lane.
Yeah, no, totally. So, so this is, I guess, here's a message to people, if you're listening, just, be open-minded, be kind, have some grace for people. And, let's work on loving ourselves and healing ourselves and maybe changing your environment, maybe just a change of scenery, maybe, I don't know, touch grass, get out of your house, put your feet on the, on the aina. I think that helps. They say, when you plant a seed and it doesn't grow, put the huli in the ground. You don't blame the huli.
You don't blame the huli.
You blame the soil, right?
Yeah,
so you gotta change it. You gotta find better soil.
To have understanding on where you belong, because has a handful of kalo that uka, they do amazing. Get kalo who stay in the lo'i, they do amazing. Get kalo who stay kai, they do amazing. And so it's us being able to gain understanding of our own ano, on who we are, our own koleana, then to put ourselves in those environments so that it can ho'olu, it can prosper and grow. If it's in the wrong environment, just pay attention and observe on yourself on how you feel emotionally, spiritually. If you don't feel good because every day, hey, you gotta work a 9 to 5, babe, you have the kuleana to change that. And if you don't, you can grumble. Yeah, but hard at the same time, bro.
Yeah, it's not an easy task.
Yeah.
There's a lot of inner work
And
that
to
needs to be
choose
done.
love, had a teacher and mentor of mine in the past in leadership training, and he always encouraged us in business that you uplift in public. And I speak all your critiques and correction in private.
I love that.
So for me, I always ask Kanakas who, have a heavy perspective that is maybe projected in a harmful way in comments to just shoot me a DM and have a conversation, because if you put yourself out there like that, it puts everybody into a bind. If you have a critique, speak to me in private. I'm always an open Hawaiian. I try to answer all my DMs. But if you're disrespectful in your tone, I'm not going to give you a time of day. If you come with love, humility, honor, then I take care of you, brother. So, yeah. I think, bro, it's basic human value, but if you get trauma, it overlooks that.
Yeah,
I still love you.
It's hard when somebody is in a place of darkness and, they're just hateful, anger. They have a lot of trauma. They hold on to that trauma. They can't let go. It's hard to, come with aloha or push that out. So, they're fighting hate with hate, darkness with darkness. And you can't do that, Only aloha can push that out, Darkness, hate doesn't push out darkness, hate. It's aloha. That's the only thing that
And to see the light, Hard for see the light if you've been in the cave all your life,
Yeah. And that's,
all good.
So you gotta leave your...
You just need one hug, Hawaii. You just need one hug, Hawaii.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes I see that. I'm just like, I hope one day those people who are so angry just get a good hug.
Yeah, it's okay,
just
bro.
get a good hug.
I love you, bro.
That's what I tell them. Like, I have nothing but aloha for you.
It's all good.
Yeah. No, and I love how you always come with aloha, how you respond to things. I just think you carry yourself with such humility and grace.
I
That's
try
why
my
I'm such
best,
a big
I
fan.
give thanks to my kupuna, bro.
No, I love that.
It's not always seen that way, but hey.
Yeah, and then you mentioned, no grumble, and that's one of the things we hear because, the political season just ended, and, no vote, no grumble.
Even no vote, no grumble.
Yeah, and the polarity that we've seen on social media, pretty much since, it was the previous election, and then, there's COVID, and then there's another election. So a lot of things built up, a lot of division that was created throughout these last, 4 or 5 years. What is a message that you can share for people who are just, divided and like, oh, you voted for this person, you didn't vote for this person, you support this, you don't support this, and not just with the election, but like anything.
Yes. One, all humans are imperfect, So everybody has had mistakes in their past, on a personal, professional level, in, things in their political work and whatnot. At the same time, humans change and humans can evolve if we choose to see it. The hard thing, which is why, I give respect to anybody who chooses to put their, just who they are on the line to actually become a political figure. Because especially, which we're kind of in a spotlight already because of social media, right? But, if you think back just to the 80s or 90s, or just maybe 10 years ago, a majority of people had no platform to speak on. Yeah, it was through invitations to be interviewed on the news. But now every influencer has basically an independent, his own media company, right? And so to all the people who really choose to go into the community, to serve, but to choose to put themselves out there, I got nothing but respect. But it comes with high responsibility, and it comes with choosing to become a target. That's what it is if you become a public servant in our current political landscape. Speaking specifically on the presidential election early on this year, which was extremely controversial for a lot of the Lahui, this is when stuff, they, started to get a little bit kickback on me in different ways. But keep it in mind, I've kind of always been involved in politics for maybe the past around 8 years, you know, in and out. When we had introduced, had an introduction to AAP, the Aloha Party, I had the honor of being a spokesperson of the Aloha Party, being in charge of media, being in charge of being able to help the candidates on how to campaign and get positioned correctly. So I've always been involved behind the scenes and really seeing the importance of things in our political landscape and getting involved. And how our kupuna were involved all the time civically. They were involved. It didn't matter the like space and time of the Hawaiian Kingdom, the space and time pre-statehood. Our kupuna were involved, but it seemed like around statehood and after that, a lot of our people had pulled back of having too much engagement. I believe it's because they had lost hope in the system. But if you lost hope in the system, which I understand, the truth of the matter is the Hawaiian Kingdom is under illegal occupation. This is proven. But 8 to 10 years ago, there's not many people who knew that. But today, because of social media,
and Keanu Sai's episode,
and Anakala Keanu Sai and his colleagues and all the kumus and professors who are playing an important role in this, bruh. One, mahalo yauko for the good mana, you know, for this hana pono keakua, you know, it's excellent work. That's a part of our lahui's work. One part, you know, to actually be involved in culture. That's one part. But there is parts of our lahui that everybody needs to exercise, and you have to find an understanding of where you fit in, yeah? And so with really things in our election today, brother, it's been pretty nuts because of the fact, you know, it's because of Trump, you know, of him being a wild card. Earlier this year, which I've never really been a big advocate of his work, Trump. But his history, the history of his family, I love history. And so to understand, you know, his mo'olelo, who he comes from, then you can gain an understanding of why he is the way he is. And he has to work on his communication. He has to work on his speeches. He has to work on his team building, on who he brings in, on how he problem solves, yes. But in this election, what he was a big star on is he was a team captain who built a great team around him that I believe everybody could see as the big component of why he won.
Yeah.
From the jump this year, I was an advocate of RFK.
Yeah.
From the jump. As an independent candidate, you know, because I've always been a big person in history, in the 5th grade American history, just hearing about the Kennedys, you know, and their heart and advocacy of doing things that is right for all people, and also seeing in our landscape now on how the two-party system is crumbling and how things, being a Democrat and Republican, now actually completely switched. They completely switched. You know, these old kind of influential people who are on the blue side, they all came to the red side.
Like Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah, everything is switching. And RFK. He's been a Democrat his entire life. His parents are all Democrats. But he changed, but he went independent first because he didn't believe in the dual-party system. Which the dual-party system, is kind of a part of democracy, but it's also the reason why there's heavy polarity. I think there needs 3, like, you know, in all aspects of our political system. If we have 3 parties, it's an odd number. You're supposed to have odd numbers, not even numbers, Hawaiian. You get even numbers, everybody battling, but get odd number. Now you can be like, okay, who's really gonna make stuff happen? Yeah.
I wish there was a nonpartisan election where, you know, it doesn't matter if you Democrat, Republican, because some people just vote Democrat all the time. Some people just vote Republican all the time. I think Hawaii has always voted for the Democratic presidential candidate for since the 80s.
Since
it's just an
pretty
automatic,
much statehood.
Yeah, it's an automatic thing.
Which is also very interesting, brother, because when actually speaking to people and like seeing how the two parties have principles and values, right, in each party, which is like potentially a thing that could be like a little bit of statement of controversy. But Haron Brada, who told me, you know, in his political analysis, that us as Kanaka inherently are Republican, inherently. And the reason is hand in hand with us as a people being Christianized. So our people are also conservatives. A lot of our people are conservatives. We have a belief in ohana, in community, in aina, in all of those things that seem to be more in alignment to the Republican Party. And Prince Kuhio and Wilcox, they were Republicans. Right. And so this is very, very interesting. But the big population of Democrats in Hawaii is the Asian population.
Yeah, that's why I call them the silent Asians.
Yeah.
You don't hear them on social media.
And they
you
make
don't know about
change.
them. But they're the one voting for Josh Green every single year. Like all those like the governors and the mayoral candidates. But you just don't hear about them because they're not on social media yelling.
Yeah, not on social media. but but they have a tendency of being like pretty involved in our political elections with like the unions and like big influence. But I propose this, kako. Yeah. If we can observe how Hawaii has evolved, or you can even say devolved, in the past 50 years, with economic development, the health of our people, the health of our aina. There's been a huge comeback in the past maybe 30 years, yes. But pre-statehood, statehood, and a little bit after statehood, all of this economic development is because of politicians. A huge majority of the seats, and it's not a race thing. But if we can observe who is in charge of the state of Hawaii, a majority of it is our Asian population. And we the kupa'ai no Hawaii ne. So we need to get involved, which, I give huge honor and shout out to all the Kanakas who are getting involved. Because we are absolutely a generation of change.
Yeah.
And this is the time where like things is able to have an internal revolution to huli things through advocacy and through Kanaka being able to see themselves in the perspective of our ali'i, take leadership position and make change for our people. And this is what all these Kanakas is doing. Especially on this side of Ko'olau Poko, keep up the good work, all of my Kanakas.
Yeah, shout out to Brenton Awa.
Yes, Brenton.
Not too far from here.
And his entire team, they're doing amazing work.
I love seeing it.
Yeah, the Kuhio Republicans, they call themselves.
Yeah, totally.
The Kuhio Republicans. Yeah, you.
No, I love that. I've had... going back to the elections, and then we'll wrap this up and get to the social media questions.
Yes.
Yeah, it sucks because I had people on both sides. I never liked either candidate. I like certain things that they were going to do or the teams better than one side or the other. You guys will have to choose. I'm not going to say. Just take your guess. If I'm left of center or right of center, you don't know.
Yeah.
I stay pretty neutral in these situations.
Yeah, just stay pono.
I just want to, kind of be the moderator here.
Aye.
But I do like that, the RFK was, what is it called, nominated for the Department of Health.
Yes.
I don't know too much about him. I know he has some controversy as well. But I love that he's in shape.
Yes.
If you look at the current, what's it called? Department of Health.
Yeah.
Chief of Department of Health, whatever.
Yeah, health. Come on.
She is not in shape.
Come on. Yeah.
About 300 pounds. So I don't like that. I like that it's a healthy person.
Yes.
I like that he's pushing healthy living for kids.
He's conscious.
I love that. I am a lot more for less control of the government. I like having more freedom in that. So I do like the stuff that he's pushing out. I know that's what I would say on the on this, and it was cool to see I saw this video of Trump's team, and they made like a little Avengers one. It was like Tosi, Elon, all these celebrities.
Yeah,
I thought that was cool.
Yeah,
I
think it's gonna be.
I'm not a Trump supporter, so don't. I just want to make that clear. I thought the video was cool.
Yeah,
and how they're building like this super team almost.
Yes.
Like how you do in like NBA or NFL.
Wow.
So from that perspective, I thought it was pretty cool. I don't know enough about politics to be like this is a good selection. But name recognition in that terms, yes,
it's a coming together of Power
cool.
Rangers in their own field, and to actually speak of RFK, brother, he in all of the world, because his whole career has actually been an attorney in law, but he's been specializing in environmental law. He cleaned up the whole Hudson River. There was about 8 to 10 years where there was controversy because of big oil spills in the Hudson River. He pushed, and in his career, he has sued the the cream of the crop of corporations that control big pharma, big ag, and these huge
Monsanto,
companies,
right?
but big and won. So he has an understanding of how to do these things. And I had a chance to really speak to RFK in person when he came down here in March. He had a conference over here. He had a rally over here in Hawaii, and I was like, who is doing his opening pule? Who's doing his opening oli? I didn't know. I reached out to his team. Bruh, then it integrated me into this whole ecosystem of Team Kennedy and how his entire team are phenomenal people who believe in what is right and what is and have eyes to see what is happening in the system and how our system, it's made us all sick. You know, since 85, he's done huge studies about how there's a correlation with the big spike in autism and vaccines, and which I encourage everybody to just do your guys' research. He's not anti-vax. I'm not anti-vax. Has a time and place for it. But if it's pushed upon you, that's a great
mandates.
indicator of an agenda.
Against mandates.
Yeah, bro. If it's pushed against you, right?
Yeah, I'm not for mandates.
And so he's been a huge advocate his entire career in, you know, to push against these heavy mandates on human society, because it is a step towards being in a dictatorship instead of keeping things in democracy, which I appreciate, because as a Kanaka, I understand illegal occupation absolutely is introducing us as our people to like introduce a government of the Hawaiian Kingdom. All of that is basically in place already, but what needs to happen is an internal revolution, I feel, is we go into the system and employed it from the inside out to make change, and kind of hand in hand in that to put us in a position to have a transition in the future that is peaceful. Because in current stance, bro, if we do a transition, there's going to be a lot of controversy, although a transition is legally needed to be happened to actually take place. Yeah. And so in that, brother, you know, I'm stoked on what's going to happen in these next 3 to 4 years. It is a roll of a dice.
Totally.
It's been a roll of a dice. Bro, it didn't matter if it was Harris or Trump.
Yeah.
It was going to be a roll of a dice. But I feel that people are more on Trump's side because he's not politically correct and he's not a politician. And but you could say he's kind of a crook in a lot of ways, but you can also say that he's just an ambitious guy who like scrapes his knees and does anything he has to do to make stuff happen. And that's also, you know, it's pretty commendable and respectable. You know?
Totally. Yeah. I think So how I viewed it, because like I said, I just observe from the outside looking in, trying to just call my friend, hey, tell me why I should vote for Trump. Talk to people, hey, why should I? Why? Because I want to know why. I don't want to be like, vote for Kamala because, if you don't vote for her, you hate women.
Yeah.
Or you hate minorities. No. Or vote for Trump. If you vote for Trump, then you're sexist. You know?
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah, I need
that
facts.
argument. Yeah, I need
policy, evidence.
I get the whole like he was convicted, stuff like that, impeached, all that. He's done terrible things, you know. I believe most politicians do.
And haven't we all?
I don't think Kamala, Biden, Obama, anybody, as much as I love Obama as his like personality
as
and how he's a speaker, great speaker, he's done some bad things.
Yeah. He's been involved, you know?
Yeah, so what I notice is that I talk to my sister, because, you know, she's, you know, liberal, she's younger, very, you know, vocal on that stuff, and I'm not trying to call you out, Kano, I love you. But we have conversations, hard conversation, and she gets more emotional. But I say it because what I saw, the state of our nation is so bad.
So bad.
That people would rather vote for this guy whom people say he's a convicted, whatever, all of this, has done bad. They rather vote for this guy than let the next 4 years be blue again.
Yes, I know.
Blue Democrats are going over to the Republican side because, so like when you think about that, it's like...
It's unprecedented, yeah.
Like, yes, it would have been so awesome to have a woman president, a minority.
Yeah, it would have been great.
Like, it would have been amazing. But I'm saying what Biden. And I watched NBC during an election night, and if you don't know, that's like 100% blue. Then I flip between Fox and whatever.
Yeah.
Because like I like to see both sides.
Yes.
And so I was watching mostly NBC, and they were saying like it didn't help that all her campaign was just trying to distance herself from Biden.
Yes.
And really just kind of more slander towards Trump than
Yes.
more like what we're gonna do to make the nation better.
And her thing that that had put her behind was she did not do any person interviews.
Yeah, I heard
she didn't do podcasts.
No, nothing unscripted.
Unscripted.
Yeah.
Why?
I saw that.
That brings, a little bit of speculation on wait, why?
Yeah.
And so like for me too, brother, to like see things from a holistic perspective. A whole bunch of our work in Awakened Aloha is in DEI. We're all about being able to teach people in systems of equity and inclusion. Yes, this is crucial and important, yet, at the same time, international. These are bigger issues that are taking place on a global scale. One, economy. Two, wars. If we have a horrible economy, everybody falls. If we get pushed into a World War II, everybody falls. Three. Everybody falls, right? And so this is important to keep in mind that really the health of the populace usually is dependent on the health of the economy. Did he have a good economy in his presidency, or did he inherit Obama's economy? Was that actually his economy? I don't know, right? But people are saying that economically, people thrived in Trump's presidency, Biden's presidency, it sucked. Okay, good, if that's enough. But we're going to have to now put him to the test to see if he has economic intelligence with how to build a country effectively. I don't think he fully does, but he has a team that does.
Exactly. I think, and I think
and
that's
you don't
like,
need to know everything.
That's how I
If
also
you can build a team who knows everything.
I don't know how to do video. I don't know how to edit. I know how to talk. That's why I hired Jordan. That's why I built a team. I don't know how to do merch. I have a team. I don't know how to. I don't like being on media and talking about money. I have a team.
Teams.
Exactly. And I think you're right that Trump built a super solid
a great team who had influence.
Regardless of how you feel about those people, he, like you said, was a good team builder. And he's a smart guy.
Oh, he's freaking smart.
If Kamala would have done that,
yeah. But hey, bro, I speak this on the record and I stand by this. If RFK was invited to that first debate live, he would be president right now.
Really?
Because he would bury the two candidates in debating, and people would have seen. He wasn't invited because I think all of these TV networks.
Because he talks funny to people who don't really like that.
But it's because of what he speaks about, So anyway.
Again, just to wrap it up, do your research.
Yeah, do your research. And
really,
stay pono.
Really, stay pono. Don't hate people just because they have a different political view, different life view on you. We can still aloha somebody and see the world differently.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my message that I want to share with people. Okay, so let's get into the social media questions. I pretty much just wrote everything down that came in, and I figure we can just talk to it until you gotta head out or we get a little hopefully not. Okay, so first question, and mahalo so much for people for just like
mahalo nui for
giving these questions. So awesome. Okay, all right. Since we're on the topic of politics. Kai.malu _ says, where does he stand on Kama'aina who don't have Maoli blood and where we fit into Hawaiian politics?
What a good ninao, bro. Ninao mai ta'i. Okay. How I'm going to answer this is to go back to the Hawaiian kingdom. You did not need to be all Kanaka in Koko to be involved in the House of Representatives and those things because it's a constitutional monarchy. So it's the same thing today, right? Here's the difference. It's the principles and the value systems. One, for all Kama'aina who call Hawaii home but have no Koko, it's an art. It's a dance. on having an understanding of how to advocate, in what way to advocate, and on what particular issues, and having an understanding on how to speak on these issues that impact Kanaka in a way that uplifts Kanaka. Because there is oftentimes a tendency of our people being put to the side of the conversation because, the whole conversation politically has impact on the entire state. It's in the word of Ku'ike. He told me, Kanaka Ku'ike told me that as the Christians, to have access to Akua, you have to go to Jesus. To have access to Hawaii, you have to go to Kanaka. So this is important to keep in mind because in Hawaii, we all need to accept a theme that Hawaiians should be first in Hawaii. This should be a theme in politics that I think is on its way, right? But for Kama'aina who love Hawaii, it is important to have understanding then on how to be Hawaiian. Hey, you cannot, because of the koko, right? Unless you have injection of cocoa, all of a sudden, you get Hawaiian DNA going through your veins.
We're advancing very quickly.
I don't know.
That
Might be happening as Kanaka stem cells. This.
So get over the percentage for Hawaiian. I'll take 26.2%.
I love it. But we, as Kama'aina, all Kanaka, and all people who call Hawaii home, you have e kuleana to become Hawaiian. What does that mean? In the context of the Hawaiian kingdom, it means to live and adapt to the principles and cultural values that are inherently indigenous, aboriginal to Hawaii, that is usually expressed and embodied in culture. Meaning, if you are a Kama'aina who is not involved in Hawaiian culture, then it's hard to have understanding on the needs of Hawaiians through the context and lens of Kanaka. You no can do it. And this is also for all the Kanaka who are decultured, who have to go through the process of re-indigenization of who they are. Hard to speak on these issues if you aren't involved in it in a heart level. One. So how I usually encourage Kama'aina is to begin to get involved and to understand Ike Hawaii. Because in our Pono Cellular course, I tell people all the time, how can you know what is pono if you don't know what pono looks like? Because in every situation, to be pono, it kind of looks different in every situation. In the Hawaiian context, to be pono, you have to understand pretext and context. The pretext is all of our history that has happened. For context is the holistic experience that Kanaka have today. Our displacement, us being put to the side, health issues, yes, economic impoverishment in a lot of ways, houselessness, highest percentage in Hawaii is our own people, right? Hey, you see all this stuff, then you can realize, wait, our issues is in the system, it's big picture issues, but who is comprised of the system? It's us. So if you as a Kama'aina feel called to be an advocate, to be an Aloha Aina first, you need to live it, be it, and be in a community that teaches you on how to ho'o Kanaka, how to ho'o Hawaii. Then if you choose to be involved in Hawaiian politics, you have the pretext, context, and you just gonna know because Akua gonna speak to you. And hopefully, you are Kama'aina who actually get thick skin. Because if you're Kama'aina and you're not Kanaka and you're talking on Kanaka issues and you don't know what you're talking about, be prepared. Because you can get ihe coming through you, Hawaiian. Spears going to be coming to you. Because that's how our people are, is being protective of us. You know?
Yeah,
so anyway.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that's a great answer.
I think, hope to answer the question.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Okay, next question comes from, actually it's more of a statement. From N4 Inc., this person says, carrying Kuka Ilimoku when he was in Kamehameha Day parade, fire emoji.
Yes, my Kanaka. Oh.
That was cool to see that.
Yes, brother Trav. No, so has a mo'olelo on this Kanaka.
Okay. Awesome.
Has a mo'olelo on this. So, bro, I'm going this mo'olelo, brother Trav. Him and Toa, who are two two just, bruh, the excellent Kanaka who come out of homestead Waiahole. Been there for about 4 or 5 generations already. The good Kanaka. So, bruh, Queen's Hospital one day, bruh. I like stay in Queen's Hospital. I come into the elevator. I see this Kanaka. Oh, kakao, Hawaii. And, bruh, his earrings, Kanaka, he had, bruh, huge pua atas. I was like, oh, this Kanaka. I look at him, I go, how you, my Kanaka? Good to see you. Bruh, ho'o mana, exchange mana right there. But we just had one good pilina right there. And then when actually things actually sparked up in the Mauna, had our big Kukahi March. Remember our big Kukahi March? Bruh, for whatever reason, because of Kumuhina, and different things, bruh, I was in on Ahu'ula and stuff, and I was at the front of the march with Hina. But had brother Trav, him and his brother Toa, had been maybe mid-March actually holding up Kukailimoku. So talking to these Kanakas, bruh, building pilina with them. Bruh, I learned, bruh, he mean kakao ui. Yeah, but, he isn't really doing the kakao, he doing the ink gun, because, he take one approach of being like Kamehameha, Baga is advanced, yeah, he gonna use the gun. So, bruh, I want to speak to Bara Toa pretty much a year ago, bro. I was turning 30 a year ago because in about, at the ending of this week, I turned 31.
Hey, welcome to the club.
So, bro, I talked to Bara Toa. Hey, bro, Hawaii, I need one good Kanaka to be in protocol and ceremony with me to put on kakao Kanaka. He said, oh, Hawaii, automatic. So, bruh, I spent my whole 30th birthday, bruh, his hale. Bruh, we inu ava, pule, and bruh, he went bang this kakao on me over here. Over here, yeah. Had an amazing time. But his brother, Trav, he came up to me, he go, hey, Hawaii. He would hand me the kukailimoku. He would hand me the kukailimoku. I go, no. He go, brother, from the first jump, with to like speak to you in that like whole space at Queen's Hospital that day in the elevator. I just knew this Kanaka. He has the mana of Kunuyakea. Bah, it's his already, but it belongs to him. So he won't give him to me.
Awesome.
So the King Kamehameha parade a year ago had about 8 of us Kanaka and Pukani, but I was in the front. Just in the position of the kahuna at that particular time, and I was holding the kuka ilimoku for the first time in the history of King Kamehameha parades. Had no kuka ilimoku. Cool. I brought the kuka ilimoku into the parade.
Nice.
So, bro,
check out the picture somewhere.
Bro, appreciate all of you guys. Bro, and peace and love to all of your beautiful ohana, brother Trav and Toa, bro. Aloha vau ya o ko, nona mea a pau, mahalo no ka hana pono o ke akua. Yolano.
Nani. Okay. I don't know if you gotta arrange. You kind of open up your. I don't. We not.
Oh, I get my malo.
Oh, okay, cool.
I get my malo.
I never see that.
Why? Because who make a malo in a la apau every day, Kanaka.
I was like,
who made a malo?
I was just thinking, can't get this for free. You gotta pay for the Patreon version, special version. Because if that's the case, then we gotta charge. So I just didn't want to make sure. Because I would have split them with you, of course.
Yeah.
90-10, of course. Yeah. I would have been fair. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you.
Just wanted to check. Okay.
I love it, Bob.
Okay. Next question comes from Marcus_Aurelius 13.
Oh.
This person says, which culture or cultures or places would you deep dive into if you had 3 months with money? That's just a great question.
Good one.
Yeah.
3 months with money. Unlimited.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably gonna happen, pretty soon. So.
Hey.
One. I would spend a whole month in Polynesia to actually see all of our cousins. They come to Wananuiakea. I would spend time with all of them first. To actually spend a week in Tahiti, to actually spend a week in Aotearoa, spend a weekend each of our cousins who actually stay at Rapa Nui, to just kind of expand with like things in the Moana. If we're talking about outside of the Moana, to Egypt, the actually history of the Moors. Had a chance a few years ago to really spend about a week in actually Spain. spent about half of the week in Barcelona, and then actually spent a few days in Andalusia on the bottom of Spain. And the Moors had been an influential people who were all Islam, but who brought the wisdom of Egypt to Europe. And I have an understanding of the history of the Moors to a certain extent. I spent a few years to do a deep dive on them, and I was so stoked to be in Andalusia to experience that. But to really spend a month in Egypt and to experience the ancient history of Kemet and all that good stuff is on my list. 3, I would have probably actually spent about a month in Imperial Asia. Head all throughout Asia to have because the oldest people in culture in the world is India and China. The ancient wisdom of the I Ching, I tell you right now, Kanaka, to have understanding of culture gives you access to perspective and worldview. And if these are the most ancient people in civilization on the planet, it gives us context. How do you exist for this long, thrive, prosper, and still be in charge of your aina?
Yeah.
That's inspiring. Yeah. So there you go.
That's what we have to do, is we always gotta look back to move forward.
Gotta look back, bro. Our
ancestors, not just our ancestors as in whatever my ethnicity, but everybody, I'm speaking to everybody, they did their research.
100%.
They did their research. So, no need chat GPT, I always go look back. Yeah. All right. I forgot that you're holding that. So usually we have a shishi break. We're going to skip the shishi break. We're going to have a pure mana break.
Okay, shishi break, pure mana break.
I don't think that's going to make me shishi. The shaka tea, the water make me shishi, but I don't think that's going to make me shishi. So yeah, let's talk about it a little bit.
O pure mana ke ia, o ka la'au lapa au e kolu, o kava, olena Himalayan shilajit. So this is the pure mana tincture. And this has a concentration of ava or kava, Polynesia. There is olena or Hawaiian turmeric from the beautiful aina of Waimanalo. And there is Himalayan shilajit that comes from the high altitude of the Himalayas in India. Yeah. A full combination to really aid in pain, in all aspects of the body, internally and externally, and helps with inflammation because of the Hawaiian turmeric, and because of the Himalayan shilajit, it has all of the minerals of the human body needed to actually give you energy and endurance all at the same time. And so, I had this product for about 2.5 years, 3 years, probably to this point. The past couple of years, we actually moved a handful of bottles. It's been amazing. It's been awesome. And we're just about to introduce it on top TikTok, hand in hand in that to actually have an introduction of our new health and wellness brand, which is coming out soon. Here's the link. Here's the name right here. Okay, I'm not going to speak on it just yet. Yeah. So in this past weekend, had one tita who was having heavy leg pains. She has issues inside her back. She has 3 discs that have been heavily compressed, that is basically gone, that actually had put a lot of heavy pressure on her nerves. And so her whole leg is completely numb, hard time walking, all that stuff. Speaking to her, she explained to me her history and stuff about her pain and injury. And I told her, hey, the pure mana, I'm not saying gonna help, but if we go ask the akua and just actually, just implement them and apply and see on how it feels. She took a 0.5 ml, she put it on her ankle and her foot, and she took a 0.5 ml and she put it in her waha. In 8 to 10 minutes, she came up to me. She was like, Hawaiian, I have no pain. I can feel all the things in my leg again. And I can walk. It's been 3-4 months that I had a hard time to even just walk without any pain. I actually don't have any pain and I can walk fine. I was like, hey, maybe the pure mana could be aqua, or maybe it's a combination of both.
Yeah. Okay.
So if anybody interested in pure mana, the baga say right here.
I need a milli. Yeah. Okay. Because I got my shoulder surgery. I'm still healing
Oh,
up.
yeah?
If
You
I
still
can
healing
do
up?
a push-up in 8 to 10 minutes, I will start.
Oh.
So I'll be the biggest ambassador.
Biggest ambassador. Hey, it could even be a thing that the Pure Mana is going to be the next sponsor of the Keep It Aloha podcast. It will give away Pure
I
Mana.
need more than this. Okay. Yeah, and this is my last podcast before I get my knee surgery in a couple of days.
There you go.
Hopefully this is a good jump start.
Yeah,
to my
you in prep.
recovery. Some good stuff.
Oh, bro. Hey, bro, here's for you. Kanaka na makana for you
mahalo,
again, homie.
mahalo.
All right, bro, mahalo nui.
All right, I'm gonna be posting about my recovery with this. Only minute over here.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, good mana break. All right. So next question comes from Dapper_cuts. This person says.
Cuts.
I just lost it. Hold on. Okay. This person says, thoughts on Kanaka who claim welfare. Why is it such a stigma to ask for help?
Oh. Good one. It is a stigma. I take the position, it's just a personal perspective. I've come to learn, it's probably because of who I come from, and for like us as Hawaiians having a little bit of pride in our hard work and our inherent the like heart and the like skill and ability to provide for your family. As everybody knows, it's hard economically, is not easy in Hawaii. But actually speaking like specifically on that, if you are not independent to provide on your own, then that means that you are always dependent on an outside entity, which for me is not a good feeling. Yeah. If in any point, if anything happens and you don't have access to resources or to go to Costco, if you don't have access to provide, if there is a world war that is in the future, there's high probabilities that these imports to Hawaii, they could stop. How is that going to look? So, one, it's okay to ask for help and support if you need it. But once you become highly, kind of interested and attached up to the point of all dependency on that, then it becomes a crutch to you. Yeah. And so it's good to have that as you ho'okole ana to build and provide for you and your ohana independently. This is why I have been an advocate and have been an entrepreneur all of my life. Because entrepreneurship and innovation is the only way to become independent and sovereign as an individual in this human society. It's the only way to do it. Yeah. But if you spend all of your life, had kupuna, who was on EBT, food stamps and welfare and housing assistance, and that just became a norm, then each of your parents, they did the same thing, and now you're doing it, it actually becomes a little bit of like a cycle that you need to break. Because if you're too comfortable in doing that, it literally means that you don't have any inherent interest and desire to improve and to grow. If you have to stay on that for the rest of your life, then you have interest in being an advocate to be an aloha aina of Hawaiian independence. Hawaiian independence, it begins with you as a kanaka choosing to be independent and sovereign on your own, outside of the system. If you can provide food for your ohana and community and hale and the kala if need, because we kind of live in a system where you need the kala, right? If you need all those things and you can build an infrastructure through developing skills to provide for your family, then it's how all Kanaka should head in that path to doing that. If you become dependent, again, it becomes a crutch to the future. You can ask for help, but for how long?
Have a timeline in mind.
It becomes a disability to you instead of an ability to prosper. Yeah. It keeps you kind of impoverished because it puts you into a whole state of dependence where if you keep on it, you actually stunt the potential you have to actualizing who you really want to become in your world. And doing entrepreneurship, if you ask any entrepreneur, us included, everybody here included, it is not easy because being an entrepreneur and innovator introduces who you are to yourself. If you have the kind of internal ambition, capabilities to persevere over obstacles, to believe in your dream, and to really build a business that you're proud of, who provides for people and helps people to actualize their potential through the leadership that you provide. This is stuff that I live for as a Hawaiian. And so ask for help if you need it. Have a timeline in mind. Yes. If you become dependent on it and the people in the stigma begins to get to you, it's probably because you could be living in the stigma. It's how you see yourself.
Yeah, no, totally. I think that's a great perspective, is like, yeah, ask if you need the help, but don't rely on it.
You can't rely on it.
Don't rely on it for years and years. Like, try to get out of it. Get to a point where, like, okay, I'll accept the help now, but only until I'm at a point where I don't need the help anymore.
Yes.
And I can rely on myself and my team.
And to push yourself,
I tell people, if you're not making enough, you're having a hard time paying rent and whatever, get on the EBT.
Yeah, get on it.
Dude, we the resources are there.
It's here to help us.
Yeah. So I'm just like, take it if
it's
there.
here to help us and support us. So if you need it, yes.
Don't need to be prideful.
Yeah. And just have an end goal in mind, like we, here's a little bit example. So just on this past weekend, bro, we actually stay on H1, boom, bro. Had been in my car, ding, speak to my girl. She had on flat tire. She pulled off to the side. Her thing was to like speak to my dad, and my dad can because he fix everybody's car, he do the tire. I tell my girl, I don't need to call my dad for everything. I can fix one tire. She go, oh, I never know. I go, hey, if I, as just one kane, have no idea on how to do the basic things to provide help in times of need, then what the hell am I doing in my life? I know how to fix one tire. If I get in trouble, I know call my father. I do it myself. I'm a grown-ass man. Yeah. So that's just an analogy to use, that it takes wit, it takes courage, but it also takes wisdom and knowledge to know how to even do these things, to have the confidence, because the confidence is there.
Oh, nice, Dan.
Yeah.
That's a good answer. Okay. We got a little tour bus coming across. Shocking at them. Okay. All right. This is an interesting question. Maile Bart says, why ke and not na akua? I never thought of that. Mahalo ke akua.
Well, it's both.
Okay.
For our culture practitioners out there who have understanding of ho'omana Hawaii, okay? Like for me, I don't choose between the ke akua and all of the akua. The reason is because I come from a position of universal thought, that all is one and one is all. So if ke akua is in all things, then if I get one akua, kini akua for a mango tree, have a kini akua for a kalo, o wakea, o papahana o moku o kukalani, haloa nakalau kapilili, haloa hea li'i o kane kanaloa lono ku, they all have to be one in the one akua. So they are all both in connection. There is oftentimes a confusion between this understanding of ke akua in the Christian context and our understanding of ke akua as kanaka, because a lot of that connection was cut in the coming of Pa'ao in the 1100. So the coming of Pa'ao, the introduction of our kapu, the introduction of our ali'i ana chiefly system, and the introduction of all of these akua, which had not been in Hawaii previous, right? Hey, we got a little bit of guests on the show over here, Kualoa Ranch.
They can't see from the side.
Ano ai me ke aloha.
How's it?
Yeah, you. Aloha no. Okay, and so with having understanding of history and the spiritual experiences I have had in my life, just trying to get understanding of like, how do we exist spiritually as Kanaka? Because there is a lot of contention in the spiritual space and the religious space with our kupuna choosing to be Christian, and how that implication because oftentimes being Christian is put in correlation to our history of colonization and capitalism, which to an extent is absolutely there. But as being a Kanaka, as each of us here as well, you have had experiences in the Christian church growing up. And I as well, in private school all of my life, yeah? But I didn't fully have an interaction with Akua on a personal level, like a full interaction of seeing Akua, feeling Akua, having knowing of Akua. I was up until about 8 to 10 years ago, where I had a full experience with Akua through being on a fast for 3 weeks. I didn't eat any food for 3 weeks, one.
That's crazy.
And then a year later, I did a full experience on plant medicine, on mushrooms. And that experience on plant medicine was the most immersive interaction with this energy field that permeates through everything in existence that is alive or dead. And this is an energy field that we call God. That had a researcher that was in the 60s, I believe. His name is Planck. And he had won a Nobel Peace Prize for his whole career study on the infrastructure of our of each atom and molecule. And he was doing research on the atom and molecule, and he would put it under the microscope. He would take a solid object, he would go in it, and he would see atoms. He would go into the atoms and he would see the electrons, the protons, and the ions. And if you're vegan, the croutons. He's seeing all of that at the same time. And then he picked an electron and he went into the electron, and all he seen was particles. He's wondering, he's contemplating. He goes into the particle and he goes and sees, he doesn't see anything. He only sees energy, which had put together his case study that at the foundation of everything is atoms. At the foundation of every atom is ions, neutrons, protons, and all that stuff. But in those is particles, but in the foundation of particles is nothing. So this had turned him into a spiritualist, because he realized that in his research, which a lot of people controversy between the spiritual side and like things in science, to actually prove that there is a God, he proved it because he realized that this understanding that we have as God is actually, it's an energy field that lives within all things. And this is why in the Christian context, they have 3 key kind of adjectives for God. He is what? He is omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient, all powerful in all places and all knowing. This means that this energy field that is God needs to exist in all things regardless of what you believe. This means that even if you don't believe in Jesus, Akua needs to still exist in you. So, in the religious context, they take the storyline to really say that how we think, who we see and accept as like the principles and belief systems that is associated to every religious system, that is the main influential factor on who we are. No, who we are out of the womb. You never even know who Yesu was out of the womb. And you telling me that being pure of truth and light heading into this world is not as close to Akua as it comes. So to answer that, I appreciate this just amazing question, because there's been conflict in our lahui. And the truth is, here is how me as a Kanaka, as a spiritual practitioner in Ho'omana, Hawaii, in Ike Mauli, all the way back into the Mu people, here is how I give an acknowledgement to the Akua in every pule. Hanu. E ke akua I holai. E nā kua I holai. E nā kini akua I holai. E nā au makua I holai. E nā kupuna I holai. E nā li holai. E nā kahuna I holai. E nā oiwi holai. E ka ohana I holai. E ke kaia ulu E holai. E ka lahui E holai. E nā motu o Hawaii E holai. E ola no. It begins with an acknowledgement to the one akua, yeah? To I'o, I, Hawaii, to I. Heads into an acknowledgement of Kane, Kanaloa, Lono, Ku. It goes into an acknowledgement of the Kini Akua to all of the expressions, offsprings, and embodiments of these main Akua. You see, it starts from the top, or it starts from the inside of the nucleus, then works out. And then it gives an acknowledgement to our Aumakua, all of our kupuna who are in spirit, who are the protectors and guardians of our ohanas, is our Aumakua, our deified ancestors. Then heads into our kupuna, all of our ancestors who is connected to us and who is connected to all the ones around us. And then it gives an acknowledgement to our ali'i, our chiefs, the people in leadership in all of our cultures. And then it acknowledges our kahuna, all of the experts, priests, spiritual ones in our communities. And then it gives an acknowledgement to us as the oiwi o Hawaii ne, all of the kanaka. Why? Because it then acknowledges our ohana. And then it gives acknowledgement to our community, yara kaya ulu. And then it acknowledgements the lahui, our whole nation of people. And then it gives an acknowledgement to the pai aina o Hawaii. So this is a pule that gives life from the core of where everything starts. And then it breaks down and connects us all. Eolano. This is how I, as a Kanaka, see the world. It may not be the way that all Kanaka see the world. And that's okay. I've been on the path to try to see how do we fit all of our thought systems into one that unifies us in pono. When you acknowledge all that exists instead of to choose to take sides, that if this exists, then that means that no can exist. Mm-hmm. That's not of God, because God is all that exists. Mm-hmm. Yeah?
That's
so mahalo
cool.
akua.
I've never heard of it broken down to like a nuclear level like that. That's super cool.
It's ho'omana. I mean, to me, it's extremely empowering to know that you can exist in relationship with all things and not just what I choose.
Yeah. It's also cool to hear religion explained with science. I've never heard that before.
It's all connected.
Leo Mana kind of mentioned it. I don't remember if he mentioned it on his podcast or when we were just cruising on the side.
And our kupuna are spiritualists and scientists. Mm-hmm. All of our kupuna.
Yeah, you and scientists. I'm not even joking. So I'm having a little pain like when I sit because my shoulder is still a little uncomfortable, but
it's feeling better?
It's feeling a little better.
My taino. I'm going to take a little bit more. Hey, Pure Mana, next sponsor, Keep It Aloha Podcast. On this episode, if you comment, then you will be entered into a prize giveaway for 3 Pure Mana.
Let's do a giveaway.
Let's do it.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah.
Ho'olu
Not an ad, by the way, not an ad. Okay. Beautiful answer. Next question comes from Tita_Vivi. This person says, do you think that Hawaiians who keep the Christian faith are successful products of colonization? You mentioned it a little bit about it, but maybe more of a
this can go into another mo'olelo because
we got about maybe 30 minutes.
That's okay.
Before you got to head out.
We, we keeping our history in mind, and there has been a lot of controversy, with the like space and time in our history, the early 1800s of the introduction of Christianity, especially in the passing of Kamehameha, the kind of interest and group of our ali'i who came together to keep away from the reinstatement of the Aikapu, and its context. For me, in the perspective I have on that part of our mo'olelo Hawaii, you imagine how it may have been being a wife to Kamehameha Pai'ea. One. He captured a majority of his wives. Yeah. I love Kamehameha, by the way. This is just context. Everybody has positives and negatives, even Kamehameha. His akua was Kukailimoku, Ku, who he devoted his life to, hence the reason why his campaign in his conquest of Ka'iwa Kilo Moku to bring all the islands under one rule. But how he unified the islands is through marriage. He had his relationships to all of the ali'i wahine of almost every moku to have keiki through them, because the ownership of land is in oftentimes the hand of the wahine. And he needed to have his keiki through these lines. In one way, people say, oh, he's a polygamist, he's a rapist. Well, you could also say he's a strategist, because in the old system of the Aikapu, this is what needed to happen in order to ensure that his house lived on for generations. Because he's a mid-ranking chief, Kamehameha. He's a wohi chief, born wohi chief, mid-rank. He's not ali'i kapu. But he needed to have keiki with ali'i kapu to ensure that his keiki is going to be the highest of the ali'i through their bloodline in Keaupuni Hawaii Pai'aina. Genius. He knew that if he did his work, but his keiki wasn't of the highest bloodline. The old system says that the access to the real mana is not going to be with his keiki. It's going to be with, but he can conquer. Okay, so he did both. You just imagine the experience that it would have been to live in the court of Kamehameha as a wahine. O Ka'ahumanu o Keopulani, his two highest ranking wives, influential women of the time. At his passing, has a little bit of mo'olelo, through just each of the writings of Keopulani with her kind of entries in journals and her memoirs of her interest in Christianity. The main reason was it was because it was peaceful. And it is told that there was mo'olelo, there was underground mo'olelo for like a majority of those 800 years. In the coming of Pa'ao, about 1100, he persecuted the Kanaka who spoke I'o, who spoke the I name. Because the people previous Mu, they only had I'o and I. And I put this out there that these principles that we consider to be Hawaiian values today, these aren't values of Pa'ao. It's values of the Mu people, of the people that came before, who did not have war, who came together with one law of Aloha and pono and connection to the one akua. Pa'ao came with massive Tahitians. He took over. He had instated his entire, his kapu system, and he introduced a chiefly system. Those entire 800 years, people still knew the mo'olelo of I. And people talked about it. And as a matter of fact, in speaking of Kamehameha, he had a half-brother who was a priest of I'o, but he was a kahuna that needed to be underground. Because they couldn't speak the name of I'o in this particular way. But his wives know, right? So they're hearing of Christianity. They're hearing of this akua, and it's reminding them a lot of these mo'olelo they heard as on keiki of I'o. This is one peaceful akua. This is not one war akua. This is not the ku akua. Keeping in mind, had a lot of eras and times in those 850 years, the space and era of our ali'i, that there was peaceful ali'i, especially in Oahu and Kauai, plenty peaceful ali'i. In Hawaii and Maui, they always scrapping. You ask yourself why? Maybe everybody hungry, no more food, you know. You go ka'u, Hawaiian. Bagay vela, I want to get rock everywhere. You know, the kind. Everybody hungry, and when you're hungry, you like scrap. Bro. You know, everybody hungry, cause you know, and so this is what I started to contemplate on being Christian, and then kind of being in my own spiritual path to evolve out of the church. It's because of this historical study of gaining understanding of our kupuna and what it is to actually be Hawaii on the outside of the Christian context. But in the passing of Kamehameha, you could probably say his wives potentially were relieved. Sad, yes, but like, hey, the people in the nation, they're uncertain. Like, who's gonna rule now? Like, who is to come after this ali'i? Who's to come after this chief who is unprecedented in our history? There's Liho. He's only 22. He's gonna lead the country? No, who's gonna lead the country is Ka'ahumanu. She's been his regent. And she's been in the court of Kamehameha for 30 years. She's a daughter of Ke'aumoku, the actually chief in charge of Kamehameha's military. She knows all this stuff, Ka'ahumanu. She knows how to rule, how to govern. She does it. Unprecedented Hawaiian kingdom having a woman leader. Nowhere else in the world has a wahine in leadership. But you imagine her sitting there being like, she's Christian already. Ka'ahumanu and Keopulani are Christian already. They have a plan. And the plan is because of the fact that a majority of his wives and the people lived in a little bit of fear because of the kapu. Because the kapu was strict. You break the kapu, kanaka, usually only one punishment. You're going to get put on the hell cause and given to ku. This is a scary time to live in. Organized time, progressive time, yes. But if Kamehameha is still doing luakini, this is kind of scary. You need to stay in line, which in a lot of ways I appreciate. Potentially we're too loose today. We need structure, you know? We kind of need a perspective of a Kamehameha to maintain order. To reintroduce our kapu again. This is important. But our chiefs, they decided to become Christian because of not only of the integration into the kind of bigger imperialistic world of Europe, all Christian nations. One, that's absolutely a reason. Two, it's to bring about more peace in the existence of the kama'aina, of all the maka'ainan. To have an experience of more love, to actually live in harmony again and to not live under fear of being sacrificed. So that played a role. I tell Kanaka this, you know, me, I love Yahushua. I love Jesus. I don't call him Jesus, because his name not Jesus, it's his Greek name. You know, that's all Roman. His name not Jesus. If I kala and go around the world and they actually begin to call me, hey, Kayla in history, that's not my name. Kala, his actual name, or Yahushua. If you look at Yahushua, his walk, his values, his koleana, he's as Kanaka as they come.
Awesome.
He understands how to love. He loves his palalas. He take care of them. He go malama his community. He go take care of Hawaii. And you know him, he's so magical, Kanaka. Just like us, he's so magical. He turned water into ava. He head to the wedding one day, talked to his mom, and mom said, boy, mama, it's not my time yet. He go, what? But you know, he go, Hanu. He touched the water. Pakang! Ava Hawaiian wine. Everybody already pono after that. Pia kana. Oh, this is real Kanaka. He love his wine. Kanaka love Ava. And we come together as Ohana. who is connected to Akua for common purpose to heal and to unify the nation. That was the kuleana of the Messiah. It's not to bring kind of earth to heaven, it's to bring heaven to earth. That's also a kuleana of Kanaka. You wonder why people come to Hawaii, because Hawaii is one of the only places that truly a person can experience what it is to live in an environment that would be considered a heaven on earth. This is why us as Kanaka are so tuned in to Akua, because the frequency and vibration of our aina is ho'olu. It prospers everybody if you are able to live in alignment with it. Is it a bad thing to be Christian in Kanaka? A'ale. It is pono. It is a'ole pono. If you choose being Christian and to push away ike Hawaii, that's a'ole pono.
Two things can
coexist at once. But hard when you choose the Christian stance, because in the extremism, in the one belief that if you believe in anything else, that you are not saved. That's the one extreme, which I propose this fact. This is not a principle that was taught in the time of the Messiah. It was taught in the time of Rome. I just want to put that out there. If you look at the entire history of the Messiah, his ministry had been based on introducing people to the spirit and the mana of Akua that lives in us and lives around us, and to live according to that. Yeah. And he pushed back against the empire. He pushed back against the system. But he didn't push back against the system through being ku'e all the time. He was angry one time in the market. He pushed back through the system to living aloha, to living pono, to helping his community, to feeding everybody, even when you know more food. Akua, find a way, and you can use one kanaka to give that. And we are children of God. You're not the only son of God, Kanaka. We are sons and daughters of Akua. It also states that in the gospel. So please believe that, because once you identify with being a son of Akua, then how you hold yourself now, if he is considered to be the king of kings, the king of who? We are all kings and queens in our own right, who have full autonomy to live in sovereignty, full autonomy to live in mana, full autonomy to access the goodness that is of Kalani and bring that to earth if we choose to see ourselves in that way. I encourage all Christian Kanaka out there. You just live the principles. Hey, I don't call myself a Christian. I don't encourage Kanaka to call themselves Christian. Why? Because the Messiah wasn't a Christian. That's why. Yeah. You be Akua. You be as the Messiah. Yeah. And that's going to be embodied.
Awesome. Great. I don't even have to give a summation of that.
Yola no.
There you go.
I hope that makes sense, Kako.
Yeah. Okay, we got a couple more questions.
Let's
and
do
I know this guy, he woke up probably before 5, got to work out and
train hard,
he
start
got to
on
go
my
do a
off
photo shoot
season.
after, so that's why this guy got to go. So
All good.
okay, we'll kind of like give him a little bit more rapid fire answers, because I don't want you to be late.
Bah.
I don't want Kobe to text me, hey, stop holding up my guest. Okay. Okay, this one is definitely one that people want to hear. The last.jen says, how do we Hawaiians that no longer live in Hawaii continue to live our Hawaiian lifestyle?
Mai kai. I just want to put this out there. Our work and our kuleana that actually stay in our weekend aloha. Kauali.
Oh, okay. We're gonna have to take a rain break. We just have to block the mics. This came out of nowhere. What if we told you the next 3 times you fill your tank, you could save money? Well, at Texaco in Hawaii, it's true. You can get $1 off per gallon on your next 3 visits when you download the Texaco app and join Texaco Rewards. Earn points on every fuel transaction and qualifying in-store purchases at participating Texaco stations. Download the app and join to get started today. Visit TexacoHawaii.com for details. Okay, sorry for the interruption. We had a quick, we said we were skipping the shishi break, but the clouds had to go shishi real quick. So we got a little rain on, but we're back and we can get right into it. Gotta dry off a little bit, but I think all our equipment is good to go.
Solid.
Yep, okay.
Just
That
gotta
was
put
the
my
first non-human shishi break we've ever had on the Keep It Low podcast. Yeah, special episode for you guys.
From Akua.
Yes, from Akua. That was just a quick blessing, yeah?
Yeah,
It was getting a
Akua
little
shishi break.
hot anyway, so it's
Akua
perfect.
shishi break.
Okay, so you were talking about how people in Hawaii, not in Hawaii, can still live a Hawaiian lifestyle.
Yes. So to put this in there, Kako, we are going to be introducing a course pretty soon. I'm hoping in these next 3 to 4 months. It is in the works right now. It's called. So in the introduction to this course, the really aim and intention in this program, its name is not put in stone right now, but I stay thinking right now it's probably going to be called a Ho'opilina Koko. To actually help our people to reconnect to our consciousness and our koko on who we come from, yeah? Because in current day, right, has a higher percentage of Kanaka living outside of Hawaii than living in Hawaii. How to stay connected?
Follow Son of Aho on Instagram.
Mahalo kia kua. Hey, you know, a'ohe paukaike I ka halau ho'okahi, right? And so there are a lot of schools of thought around this. Yeah, I just stick to the basics. One, just to always be a haumana of Ike Hawaii and Mo'olelo Hawaii. Because if the consciousness is Hawaii, then wherever you go, you are Hawaii. Yeah? And so this is an easy way to reconnect in what you do because everybody is able to read a book. Two, the Keep It Aloha podcast has been having some hammers on top of this, right? So it's a process of learning, to grow, to apply yourself. But in like key ways that is practical and active. Like for me, how I reconnected to like things Hawaii is for the past maybe 3 to 5 years is to chant. I love Oli. So I've been a haumana in this aspect of art form and just aspects of pule and protocol for the past 6 years. And so to just apply yourself in Oli, because how we chant as Kanaka is unique in the scope of all of the other cultures in the world. Everybody's unique. But when you hear a Hawaiian Oli, you just know that Baga give you empowerment. Like the ho'omana is real. Yeah, why? Because our kupuna speak through us in our leo. And if you can try to speak like your kupuna, right, it just activates everything, right? And so it brings back to speaking is to study Olelo Hawaii. If you can learn and just ho'oma'a makolelo Hawaii, just practice to have understanding of phrases, of terms, to head on YouTube. There are full classes that teach you Olelo Hawaii that you can do anywhere around the world. So this helps. The biggest thing in reconnection is to overcome the own historical hurt and trauma that we've experienced to not choose ourselves. That's what I feel is one of our biggest obstacles. Like even for me as a Kanaka, I grew up in one Hawaiian ohana. I kind of explained this in our first episode.
Episode 66.
Who didn't really do too much Hawaiian, who did Hawaiian things, but not always the Hawaiian way. Yeah. So we always had a connotation and a worldview that was Western. I never knew anything outside of that. But I got exposed to like different programs, different kumus, hula, oli, on how to mahi'ai. And these were all key pathways of understanding Hawaii. And when we understand Hawaii, it's easier to understand ourselves as po'e Hawaii. As po'e Hawaii. Because he Hawaii mako.
Hi.
Yeah, and he Hawaii kako. And so that was a crucial thing because a majority of the time, if you have the courage to take the first step, just the courage, to get the courage is the hardest part. Because as all indigenous people, all Aboriginal people, our people have been through it. So how we see ourselves in the confidence in how to see ourselves as Kanaka is a challenge for a lot of Hawaiians, especially if you're not in the piko, to be here in Hawaii. Yet, I've learned this, kako. In our kupuna's generation, in statehood, pre-statehood, everybody, our kupuna were educated to think being Hawaiian is a hindrance and a liability to society. That lives in us. Yeah? This is an unfortunate truth and reality, kako. Yeah? This is a byproduct of imperialism, the infiltration of the principles and values of things in the Western world to Hawaii, but specifically in the process of Americanization, the Patriotic Act. This was huge on us and our kupuna. Our kupuna live in us. So if our kupuna had not healed all of that eha, it still lives in us, guys. Yeah? So you and I, we all gotta understand that. Yeah? And that's a hidden fear that is unconscious. So meaning, in like human behavior means basically we don't even understand that exists in us because it's so deeply embedded and integrated because of our kupuna's DNA, the image and identity of what being Hawaiian meant 100 years ago is much different than what it means to be Kanaka today. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so to be Hawaii, to choose Hawaii, but to know this, being Hawaii is an asset, not a liability. You go around the world and tell somebody that you from Hawaii, what happened? And no matter if you Kepani, you Pake, you Korean, you Haole, or you Po'e Kanaka. You go Spain, you go Asia, you go anywhere in the States. People hear you from Hawaii. All of a sudden, they put you on top on higher echelon. Mm-hmm. Why? Because people's idea of what Hawaii is this place that is mystical and whatnot, but also people understand that the people of Hawaii are also very, very special. We as Kanaka have a different ano, a different mana. I've been to many cultures, as you have as well, bro. Us as Kanaka, we just diff Hawaiian. We just diff.
Yeah.
Yeah, we go anywhere, Kanaka. People like be Hawaiian. Why? Because it's special to have an engagement with this spirit that is not ours. It's Hawaii. Mm-hmm. I attribute that whole spirit and mana to Hawaii. So choosing to be Kanaka is important. Choosing to see yourself, to just go on the journey. Everybody begins a ho'okele va'a at the beach, Hawaiian. At the Kahakai. You begin your ho'okele to Tahiti right over your Hakipu'u, Hawaiian. Yeah? Mm-hmm. So take your time. Sail, but keep sailing. Mm. Keep sailing. If you have some, kind of little bit of ups and downs because high waves, a couple of brothers of mine, ho'okele, they say, brah, stay middle of the ocean, no can see nothing, 30-foot swells. Hopefully, a person on the ho'okele journey to Ike Hawaii is not going to hit 30-foot swells, but, yeah, you keep going. Mm-hmm. You just holomua kako. And to know that being Hawaii is an asset, to see yourself as an asset. This not being high maka, because could easily go to your head with a lot of Hawaiians having degrees, doing this kind of stuff. They get high maka. Like that, yeah? That good, has its time and place, But we, as Hawaii, if you choose to see yourself as Kanaka Hawaii, this is how and who I am and how I exist. And I'll prove it to myself through unlocking all of these really access and pathways to being Hawaii authentically. It's going to take time. Mm-hmm. But you believe in yourself. So so it's important to have a higher purpose and koleana in mind. For me, is to ensure that all of my kiki, all the mo'opuna who come after me, is going to be Hawaii from the jump. From the jump. Why? Because our household, olelo Hawaii, Ike Hawaii, paintings of our kupuna, understanding our mo'okua, who we come from. How? If people ask you who you come from and where you come from, you can say it with confidence because you've been there, you've lived there. Or if you haven't lived there, but all of your kupuna live there, and you step foot on that aina, you know what that mana is. You know, it's easy to speak that if it's embodied in your consciousness and in your pu'uvai. And then you let Akua do the work. Because Akua going to start opening up the doors, because you begin to become and to live more authentically aligned with who you really are. Because they try to actually educate us out of our own selves. This is a time where you can educate yourself back to yourself. It's nobody else's kole'ana.
Yeah.
You can do mine.
Yep. And just to add to that,
Please.
You don't have to try to impersonate somebody who you think is Hawaiian just to feel more Hawaiian. Like, we are different people, Elijah and I don't need to, I don't feel the need to have to oli or wear malo to feel like secure in my Hawaiian, to feel in, as a Kanaka.
Yeah.
You know, I do things in my own Hawaiian way, you know? And we're still Hawaiian.
And
we're still Kanaka.
each pathway is different, right? And so it's, I can also encourage to keep away from being a copycat, you know, because, you know, you kind of have imposter syndrome if you do that.
Yeah.
But to use people as models to what connects to you most.
Exactly.
Because there are Kanakas of all different spectrum. Could have Kanakas in construction who can piha makaolala Hawaii. They, baga work in Great Pacific. All good. But he good Hawaii. You may be like work construction and be like that Kanaka. He just as Kanaka as the Kanaka who in the Lo'i. Just as Kanaka as the Kanaka who can speak Olelo Hawaii. Only half. But he's on their journey. But use people as a model to how you can embody who you are to potentially help you to become closer to who you want to be.
Oh, beautiful. Okay. All right, so let's just fire through these last questions.
Hard for fire, but all good.
The weather is getting worrisome as well.
Aye.
Okay. Avadara says, in regards to St. Louis football, who is your top 3 players?
Ho, Kalai Puhaku, ba, you know, a good bout of mine, bro. Oh, I love it, bro. So a couple evenings ago, bro, we stayed at this big paina that stay freaking all the way in Kahuku, bro. Bro, stay over there, bro, the stuntman's house here, bro. Bro, I love Baratanawai. Bro, say like speaking to Baratanawai. And he tells me, boy, hey, you gotta agree, yeah, you gotta agree. Everybody, listen up. It is not a real state football championship if Kahuku and St. Louis is not playing. I go, no, hoi. Aye. For me, Kako, there is a lot of excellent players. Hard to pick.
You gotta go at Marcus as in the top 3.
You know, like
that's your
for me, because he's my classmate in quarterback, bro. I love Marcus. Big shout out to you, brother Mark, bro. I appreciate all of your contribution to Hawaii and to Oregon and to the Polynesian community to make this beautiful open doorway for all of the athletes now. Him and Tua are just inarguable. It's been a school of the cream of the crops quarterbacks since its inception. 1846, you know, St. Louis, a lot of people don't know, baby. 1846, that had existed as a college in Kaka'ako first and then Kalaipuaku. But who spoke at the commencement ceremony at Kalaipuaku was, interestingly enough, because this was, who spoke at the commencement ceremony that actually took place in Kaka'ako, bro, had been our King Kamehameha Ekolu.
Whoa.
He spoke at the commencement ceremony at St. Louis College, yeah? So you're like, whoa, me, nah? If we're just sticking in quarterbacks, bro, I gotta say the quarterback that probably, you know, in our generation, maybe a little bit older than us, that put all of St. Louis on the map. Then he went to UH, put UH on the map, and now he's the head coach of UH, is Timmy Chang. Yeah, so peace and love, Timmy Chang, and all the UH Warriors, him and his staff. He has a lot of Crusaders on his staff. And he has an assistant head coach who is Chris Brown, who coached me for about 5 years, Coach Chris. Awesome. And he's my boy, Coach Chris. So, hey, bro, I appreciate you, Coach, and all the contribution.
Solid.
Ayo Crusaders
Okay.
probably gonna win state championship.
Hey, I don't know.
2024.
Robert, is that true? Robert from Coco.
Hey, but we see ya, cause.
Okay. All right. Two Sandy Beach Glassworks 2 says best place / way to learn Olelo Hawaii.
Best place /
And maybe just some quick resources.
Ika Olelo Hawaii. One, I will just go on YouTube. Has some. There is an online course I put on Aleo that is on YouTube. But it just gives the basics. Ika Olelo Hawaii. And then it has an online course who actually teaches this on top of YouTube, which is all free, right? Who is the kumu of this one, bruh? If I'm not mistaken, he actually stay on Maui, bruh.
Maui.
Has an online course. So Kalekoa Ka'eo.
Okay, I don't know.
He has a great 18-part deep freaking study on Olelo, and it's super solid. You know, how I started it actually was to pick up a Hemolele by Bala, half Hawaiian, half English, and to kind of read and to actually hold the like English side covered. And to actually see and guess if I can do kind of an interpretation and translation correctly. And I just did that every day for about a year.
Awesome.
I did it every day by just Proverbs, freaking every day. Proverbs, pa.
That's like my dad.
Yeah, just get the Ike and
the Baipala Hemolele.
And the Olelo.
Awesome.
Hey, but it's how our kupuna learn.
Yeah. Or music. I've learned
mele.
Yeah, mele through like in Spanish and Malagasy.
Yeah,
I listen to a lot of the mele. And
just mele.
If I hear a new
Española.
word, I just ask people, oh, what does that mean? Or look it up.
Aye.
Okay, and then my advice for this would be, okay, so if you want hine, find one kane. If you want kane, find one hine. Get pregnant. Wait 9 months. Have the kid. Raise them for 2 years. Put them in Punana Leo.
Yeah,
and then once they're Punana Leo, and then you can learn with them.
Yeah, you
as
have
they're
to
growing
learn
up.
with them.
And that will only take about 3 to 4 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it's immersion and a big commitment. So do it, baby.
Yeah. That's probably the easiest, fastest way, in my opinion. Okay. All right. Elizabeth.McGann says, mahalo for all your boat doing for our lahui. And then Hawaiian Style 84 says, no question, just stoked for this. So shout out to those people for the
mahalo nui.
Yeah. Okay. These are some heavy questions, but we're gonna try to give like spark note answers.
Okay, let's try to do it.
I want to respect your time.
Okay,
And
let's
I don't
try
want
to do
Kobe
it.
to be mad at me.
Let's
You
go.
arrived late. Okay.
All
right. This is from Anonymous. They have to be anonymous. This person says, do you believe in the saying, religion is a colonizer's #1 tool to round up the oppressed? And what are your thoughts? I recently watched the series Vikings, and their ancestors were tested with following their original gods and the new Christian religion brought to them. Obviously, the monarchy accepted and preached Ke'akua. But what do you think our ancestors before then would have done? Or in other words, how do you think religion played a part in the gentrification and colonization, and furthermore, the overthrow? So you did mention...
I think I spoke a little bit on that.
But yeah, so...
I think it's important to keep in mind that the experience in Hawaii in the 1800s specifically, especially as it pertains to the church, is not the same as all of the big historical experiences of other indigenous peoples. It's not the same. So it's hard to compare them, but that's a process that like a lot of our people take when speaking about colonization, that everything in colonization is bad. It's just the influence of another culture on ours, which has power, yes. A majority of the time around the world, it wasn't pono. Here in Hawaii, that's not really the case, because if you look at who did the overthrow, it was the offspring of the missionaries who were detached from the original principles and values of their parents. Because if you look at our mo'olelo, a majority of the missionaries had been like in good connection to our people and to especially our ali'i, and a good relationship to our ali'i. And the chiefs were very skeptical. Bruh, it has a mo'olelo of Kamehameha. This is all the way up until Kamehameha the Fourth. If you had a Christian ship who's coming into Honolulu Harbor, you couldn't undock until we kind of had an understanding of what is your real agenda here. You couldn't just undock and unload and that kind of stuff, because had Catholicism, which had a big state code, but what came first, if I'm not mistaken, had actually been the people in the Christian church who are Protestant, and then the Catholics. Yeah, then in the like space and time, I think of Queen Emma, had the Anglican church, Episcopal church came. So you're like, there's all these different influences. And so for me, here in Hawaii, it didn't play as big of a role, I think, as you may think, because of how it played a role in other people in other cultures. So it's important to keep that clear, because oftentimes the majority of Kanaka I've met who are olu, who are pono, who have understanding on how to communicate, how to heal, how to forgive, how to move past, a majority of them is Christian. Mm-hmm. Almost all the ones that aren't, they're the aggressive, the hateful and spiteful. And so that is an important thing to keep in mind, Kako, right? It's not the church in and of itself that is the entity to follow. It is the principles and the values and teachings that is of the Messiah that are the embodiment of our kupuna and what we truly live by as Kanaka.
Awesome. All right. Sorry, a little rain break again. Here, can we?
I hope that makes sense, Kako.
Thanks, good ass. Sorry, unfortunately, I really wanted to get to everybody's question, but we gotta,
we'll do a little bit of a wrap.
Yeah, so I just want to mahalo everybody for the social media questions. Mahalo so much. Maybe we'll answer it on Instagram or something later. But
he will shoot me an email of the questions and I can do reels for
Exactly.
Yeah,
perfect. Okay. I can't wrap up before asking you the question that I ask everybody.
Yes.
About keeping it aloha. It's the name of the podcast, and I gotta know, in your life, how do you keep it aloha?
I be aloha, live aloha, give aloha. In the hottest times, I've come to learn as a little Kanaka in my upbringing, as everything in life, bodybuilding, everything, that to say just like an example of the bicep. If you get small bicep, if you want it to grow, you have to put it under pressure. So all the tissues are put under pressure, is able to expand, and then to recover even stronger. So like spiritually with aloha, it's the same way. The only way to truly live aloha is to you being put under pressure in times where the last thing you want to choose is aloha, and you still choose it. And you still choose it. Yeah. The hottest times, and people you dislike, people bashing you, calling you names, calling you XYZ on social media, in person, humiliating you in front of people, doing that kind of stuff, and still being able to live in that angst of energy, live in that deep emotional feeling that arises in that time, and to still be like, you know what? Everything has its place. I choose aloha above all. I can still love you and disagree with you. I don't have to like you. I can still give my aloha to you. Yeah. And this other way, I guess I live aloha, is to choose to ho'okole ana every day, to identify each responsibility that I have to my family, but to myself first. Then to my ohana, then to the lahui, Hawaii, humanity, the world. Because there's kuleana at every tier. That's aloha, is having an understanding of where you fit in to give who you are to the world in a way that helps the world to become a better place for our children. So that right there has always been a big inspiration for me on how to stay all committed and devoted to being a person of aloha in every way that I do, because I know that one day I don't want to be the guy that highly successful, doing these different things, but there's this one person who comes out of the woodworks and feels like they had one interaction with me and I treated them bad. And it's what gets highlighted. And then people begin to see me in a different light. So this puts a responsibility on me to be a kukulu, to be a pillar of Aloha that people are able to see, to encourage, to live, to be inspired by, and to understand that to be this is not easy. It's a work every day. But as the bicep, you train them every day, it becomes a part of your unconscious programming. You just live it, you become it, and then you begin to attract everything that is at a higher vibration, because I truly believe, which actually has been proven, the of all the vibrations on the planet, highest vibration is love that everybody can live with. But that kind of love we talking about is the kind of expression of love that only comes from Akua, only comes from God, only comes from Aina. It comes from stuff that is not human. It comes from everything outside of us, yeah? And that's the kind of space and frequency that the spirit of Aloha lives at. Hence, our mission statement in Awakened Aloha is to inspire a world where the spirit of Aloha is the heartbeat of humanity through a reconnection to culture and a rediscovery of our ancestors. Because when you discover who you come from and you practice where you come from, then the byproduct is living in alignment. That is Aloha.
Beautiful.
Yo!
Yeah. And remember, it's easy to keep it aloha when life is good, when it's sunny and you're not getting rained on. But can you keep it aloha? Can you keep pushing it through when you get the rain on you, when you're having a bad day? So keep it aloha always. Mahalo.
If you get the balls to, at least.
Yeah, exactly. Or you get the
all up in your nao, no can anymore.
Well, just want to say mahalo, Elijah, for coming back on the podcast.
Ay, ba, mahalo ya.
Sorry for the rain delays. Hopefully it doesn't take you too long to get to your photo shoot.
May taya po.
Is there anything you want to share before we wrap up? If not, tell us where we can find you.
I appreciate you, Kako, for all the good mana, for hearing and listening in to this beautiful time, to all the team, staff, and Uncle Frank over here at Hakipu'u, and to all the people at Kualoa, and to all of our Kanaka out there who are just on the journey. Hey, I see you. I feel you. If I have the chance to, I'll love you and hug you and just hold Kanaka with you. Always keeping in mind that, hey, you know, this introduction and invention of a one-man canoe is new. Our original va'a, minimum, get about 4 to 6 men. So have understanding of who is in your va'a, you know, who is with you, who is truly with you, who has understanding of how to paddle to the space and direction of your kuleana, and to live in that, and to be happy, you know, to treat people well, to love people, to head to the gas station, have a smile on your face. Hey, truly. Excuse my language. I don't give a shit if you're having a bad day. You know, choose a better way, because you can. It's our koleana to do that. If you are interested in change, be the change that you want to see. Live the change that you want to see. Be that. Don't not be like you know, this influencer. Don't be like this uncle. Be you, Kanaka. But you begin to see yourself into people that you admire and choose to embody and to love. And I hope in any way, shape, or form that if I am able to be of contribution and service to anybody in our Lahui, to humanity and to the world, I'm here for you. I love you. I appreciate you. Head to Instagram at SON of Oahu, TikTok. And please actually stay tuned for the introduction of our new brand, Toa. And if any businesses out there need any support with things on the marketing side, building websites, and really things on social media to really scale and become a key person of influence, I just introduced an agency 3 months ago. It's called EKM Partners. All of that information is coming out. If you need help to really scale a business, a product, and a service through social media. Appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Hui ho, malama pono.
Mahalo. Well, mahalo, Frank, Robert, this whole Kualoa Ranch, Morgan Hana, Jordan. If your mics get messed up, I'll buy you new ones. Don't worry. And mahalo, especially to Elijah McShane for coming on the podcast. Spread love, be kind to one another, and mahalo for listening to us today. We have new episodes every Thursday, so make sure you follow us and leave a review. I'm your host, Kamaka, and remember to always keep it aloha.
Yes, sir.